Hello, it's now 6 p.m. local time here in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News, and here are headlines for this hour. Korean investments in Vietnam reached $6.3 billion this year, accounting for 31% of total investment in the country. Vietnamese and foreign students took part in an international cultural festival, showcasing their country's cuisine. According to the South Korean embassy, Vietnam continues to welcome a large number of investments from the Korean business community. Currently, over 4,100 Korean enterprises have invested in Vietnam since the two countries established diplomatic relations 23 years ago. Korean investments in Vietnam reached $6.3 billion over the period from January to November 2015, accounting for 31% of total foreign investments in Vietnam. As South Korea is one of Vietnam's leading trade partners, bilateral trade is expected to reach $30 billion this year and $70 billion in 2020. A new trading center at the Hanoi-Moscow Cultural Trading and Hospitality Complex Soin Central in Moscow was inaugurated on December 19th. Vietnamese ambassador to Russia Nguyễn Thanh Sơn was in attendance at the event, along with businesses, customers, and representatives from the two sides. The In Central multifunctional complex began operation in December 2014 and thus far has attracted several key Russian enterprises. The facility, a result of cooperation between Hanoi and Moscow, provides overseas Vietnamese people in Russia with living accommodations and a permanent training center. It also facilitates the export of Vietnamese goods to Russia and other members of the Commonwealth of Independent States. The Fecon Foundation Engineering and Underground Construction Giant Stock Company and the Flag ETS Corporation from the U.S. have agreed on a collaborative research project for a high-tech waste processing plant at Sopson District's Waste Treatment Complex in Hanoi. The plant is expected to use brand-new technology to turn waste into electricity and compost fertilizer. The project has a total investment of $370 million and will require a land area of 17 hectares with a capacity of 4,000 to 5,000 tons a day. Upon completion, the plant is expected to be able to handle 40% of the city's waste and contribute about 40 to 50 megawatts to the national grid. Now, Vietnam has achieved many significant breakthroughs in various fields, particularly in scientific research. However, the country's creativity industry lacks the government attention required to nurture it. The small number of creative startups in Vietnam have received little to no incentives or support for development. Let's now take a closer look in the following report to see how innovative startups are coping with the situation.
Upon his return to Vietnam after years of studying abroad, Trần Hoàng Kim decided to build a creative startup to provide open spaces for young people in Hanoi. Fortunately, he managed to meet people who shared the same ideas. These people later became his first investors.
The idea is mine, but I also need the creative input of other people in the community to do this.
The Creative City model was recently founded in Hanoi in order to satisfy young entrepreneurs' need for innovation. This has already achieved moderate success in making room for creative businesses and also provides jobs for many young people.
I'm very impressed with the creativity I see when working with these young people. We need to have a place where they can discuss and implement their own ideas.
Recognizing the importance of future innovation within the creative industries, the government has started working to facilitate the emergent industry. This new direction will help make innovation one of the driving forces for the sustainable development of Vietnam.
The Ministry of Science and Technology has tasked us with creating a national project to improve the startup ecosystem. I hope that when it's implemented, the creative industry in Vietnam will flourish.
Innovation and investment in modern technology would help boost Vietnam's economic development and improve its position in the global value chain. These first steps taken by the country's young intellectuals bring hope for a brighter future ahead.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
You're watching VTV News. Now, the Vietnamese embassy in Russia bestowed the president's friendship medals on 4 experienced reporters from the Russia Today news agency on December 18th. The recipients work at the Asia Department, formerly known as the Vietnamese Department, and include department head Elena Nikulina, office head Igor Britov, reporter Alexei Suyunberg, and anchorwoman Tatiana Rumi-Ansheva. They have worked hard to have Vietnamese and Russian audiences learn more about the people and culture of both countries, as well as their stances on global issues. These efforts have greatly contributed to cementing the traditional friendship between Vietnam and Russia. The Russia Today's news agency, now formerly known as the Voice of Russia, was established in 1929. Its first Vietnamese program was broadcast in September 1951. Now, the 35th National Television Festival officially concluded in Dong Hoi City, Quang Binh Province on Saturday after 4 days. The festival drew together all of the TV stations in the country, with Vietnam Television as the main organizer. A contest for outstanding TV clips received nearly 500 submissions from the past year, reflecting the dedication of journalists and demonstrating the many diverse aspects of Vietnamese television. The entries competed in 9 categories, including documentaries, reports, science and educational programs, as well as talk shows, dialogues and discussions. At the closing ceremony, 27 gold prizes, 56 silver prizes, and 5 prizes for excellence were awarded. Now, the Đà Lạt Flower Festival is an event of national cultural pride, drawing tourists from all over Vietnam and the rest of the world. The festival is held every 2 years to promote the image of Đà Lạt, a famous resort city in Vietnam, and to honor Đà Lạt flowers and flower growers on an international stage. With only a few days until the beginning of the opening ceremony, let's take a closer look to see how Đà Lạt City is preparing for the event.
Vạn Thành, Hà Đông and Thái Phiên are some of the oldest flower villages in Đà Lạt City. Normally, the flower growers are very busy due to high demand for Đà Lạt flowers and the city's regular tourism activities. But as the Đà Lạt Flowers Festival draws near, their labor seems to double, forcing the growers to work at a frenzied pace. Still, they are very enthusiastic about contributing to the festival.
We're so happy that the city is organizing this flower festival. This is a chance to promote the products of our village to other provinces and even nationwide.
This antique steam train made of flowers is one of the many impressive sights that will greet visitors at the festival, the result of the effort and creativity of over a month's work of local gardeners. The whole festival is also proof of the effectiveness of privatization in organizing the city's activities.
This year we are only supervisors. The Đà Lạt Flower Association is responsible for organizing this festival. We want to use this occasion to introduce and promote the products of our flower villages to both domestic and international visitors.
Đà Lạt Flower Festival 2015 will take place from December the 30th this year to January the 3rd next year in Đà Lạt City and neighboring districts, with highlights including flower exhibitions, a street displaying Lâm Đồng wine, tea and coffee, and a space to showcase calligraphy and flower photography. Around 500,000 tourists are expected to visit Đà Lạt during the 5-day event.
Now, Vietnamese and foreign students took part in an international cultural festival on December 19th in Hanoi. This annual event was held by the Faculty of Vietnamese Studies and Language, part of the University of Social Sciences and Humanities at the Vietnam National University. Let's have a look at the celebration in the following report.
Korean gimbap, papaya salad from Laos, Vietnamese rice noodle rolls, and bún chả. More than 14 stalls displayed food from 10 different countries at the event. The students brought traditional dishes to the festival, showcasing unique flavors from their own countries.
Our team, we got very excited when we heard the news of participating in this event. So we have been in the last days very busy preparing and thinking what to bring to our classmates here. And we decided to bring typical Cuban food, congee rice, roast pork and cassava.
The most popular dish in Russia is salad nga or olivier. We eat it each New Year. Okay, we need potato, eggs, beans, ham, and so you just cut it and with sauce.
This is the 5th year that the International Cultural Festival has been held by the Faculty of Vietnamese Students and Language. Each year, it attracts numerous visitors from Vietnam as well as abroad. The festival this year also drew the participation of students from the USA, Hungary, and Kazakhstan for the first time. Many alumni and students from other schools also attended, contributing their own food stalls at the event.
The International Cultural Festival helps connect both Vietnamese and foreign students. They have a chance to relish cuisine from different nations. I think it's good because cuisine also represents national culture.
I can learn a lot from attending this event. For example, I learned how the event was organized and how to cook some foreign dishes. I also made new friends with many Vietnamese and foreign students.
The International Cultural Festival ended with bamboo dancing and performances by foreign students. Particularly, unique food stalls were granted awards from the event organizers. The festival offered a good opportunity for Vietnamese students and international students in Vietnam to learn about different cultures.
And just before we conclude our bulletin, let's take a look at our updated weather forecast. And that's also a wrap for today's news. If you want to see us more on our next newscast, just tune in or visit our website at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. Goodbye and see you tomorrow.